why the automobile is one of, if not the worst, invention in history. Common argument in the defense of the automobile is the idea that owning a car will somehow give you more freedom. The question is, freedom to do what? Do you have freedom to read while driving a car? Do you have freedom to waste your time scrolling through social media like Facebook and TikTok while driving a car? Do you have freedom to learn a language on Duolingo while driving a car? Do you have freedom to drink while driving? Most certainly not. If you were caught, you would be arrested. And so you really don't have freedom while driving a car. It could be argued that you have freedom to go anywhere you want while driving a car. Well, that argument really doesn't hold any water unless you're from a country with less developed infrastructure like the United States. But in countries with more developed infrastructure like Nordic European countries or even Germany, which actually ranks #1 for infrastructure according to worldbank.org, you could get pretty much to anywhere you want with public transportation. Buses and trains can take you anywhere in a country like Germany. Unless you're some weird far-right conservative who wants to live in some bunker in the middle of nowhere, you'll be able to get anywhere you want just fine with public transportation. So freedom's not a problem there. A man might say that owning a car allows you to get to your destination faster than public transportation. But again, in more developed countries with high-speed rail, this argument is illegitimate. For example, the Deutsche Bahn ICE train in Germany travels at around 330 kilometers an hour. The famous Japanese Shinkansen travels at around 360 kilometers per hour. Now let's compare travel destination time length. Now consider this. If you were to take the Shinkansen from Osaka, Japan to Tokyo, Japan, it would take you about 2 hours and 45 minutes to make the trip, or perhaps a little bit over 3 hours. If you were to drive the same path, it would take you around 6 hours to make the trip. That is quite a big difference. Now I'll explain, according to infrastructure, why the automobile is perhaps the worst invention in history. See, most of the time, cars are not being driven, and they take up an immense amount of space. Parking lots, as well as garages, have contributed to lower population density in cities. There was once a time when people had the freedom to walk anywhere they wanted to outside. That is no longer the case. You cannot just freely walk onto a road, you would get hit. We do not have freedom to walk anywhere we want anymore. You have to own a car if you want to drive on the highway. You have to own a car if you want to drive on the road. Cars, therefore, create a less livable city. Apparently, around 64% of Americans also believe that road widening has positive effects on congestion. And unfortunately, they still tend to believe in this myth, even after they have learned of the effects of induced demand. So to explain induced demand, as roadways become wider and able to accommodate higher volumes of traffic, additional vehicles will materialize as drivers feel incentivized to use the expanded road due to the belief that added lanes have reduced congestion. As more people start driving on the expanded road, congestion levels will increase to similar levels as before road widening. Automobiles are also the leading cause of death in the United States. Now, you could also argue that driving a car could destroy a society psychologically. See, when you drive a car to work, you are more isolated than if you walk to work or if you take the bus or train. And so by walking or taking the bus or train, you could become more connected with your neighborhood.